Hey everybody, Eric here from Tea and Tobacco, and today I'm going to show you how to deep clean your pipe using the salt and alcohol method. Today I'm going to be using a estate pipe that I picked up. This is a Peterson Billiard that's in really good condition. It's just whoever was smoking it beforehand smoked a lot of Lakelands in it, and it smells like old lady, and I want to get rid of that. So this isn't going to be a restoration. This is just basically cleaning the inside of the pipe. So you may ask right off the top, well, why would you want to do this? So the first reason is to get rid of anything that's ghosted your pipe. In this case, I have some Lakeland scents that I don't want in my pipe anymore because it affects the flavor. You may be switching from aromatics to maybe a straight Virginia or something, and you want to get rid of the flavors that have been left behind by any of your aromatics. The second is you may be having moisture problems with a pipe that you used to not have moisture problems with. Over time, as you're smoking, the juices and tars eventually build up inside the cake and in the wood where it can no longer wick moisture away. As that moisture dries, it leaves behind all those things that don't evaporate, and eventually it's going to get all clogged up. So this is going to help dissolve those and remove those from the pipe. And the last one is you may notice that for some reason the tobaccos just don't taste right in that particular pipe compared to your other pipes. Some people describe it as a sour taste. Personally, I've never experienced it, so I couldn't really tell you exactly what it tastes like. But that's the purported taste. They call it souring. So, all right, so you're going to need a few things. You're going to need some pipe cleaners, some bristled pipe cleaners if you got them, a shank brush also if you got it. It's just a nylon brush that's really small that fits inside the shank. You're going to need some Q-tips, some plastic wrap. If you want to basically reset your pipe and you're going to have to start breaking in it again, a reamer if you want to ream it all the way down or ream it at least a little bit. An egg carton or a bowl full of dry beans or rice. Kosher salt, make sure it's kosher salt, not table salt or sea salt. And a high-proof alcohol. This is 151 vodka. You can use rum or whiskey, but I prefer vodka because it's about as neutral as you can possibly get and won't leave any flavor or anything behind. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to remove the stem from this pipe, and I'm going to clean that separately. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to clean out the shank. So I'm going to take my vodka here, dip a pipe cleaner, as you can see, the alcohol really gets the gunk. So I'm going to run through a few more. All right, so I've used quite a lot of cleaners. I'm okay at this current stage since I'm going to be doing some more cleaning after I do the salt treatment. All right, so now that I've used a ton of pipe cleaners, I'm gonna ream the bowl of this one because I want to basically reset this pipe to as fresh as possible. This is an optional step. If you want to leave the cake behind, then you are free to do that. So. All right, now that that's done, we can move on to the salt treatment. All right, so the first thing you want to do, you want to get yourself a piece of plastic wrap and basically just fold it over a few times. So you got a pretty nice thickness of a square. And then take a Q-tip, wrap the Q-tip in the plastic wrap, and then shove that down into the shank as far as you can get it. And then what you want to do, you can take another Q-tip and just rip one of the ends off. And I just kind of use it to press in the rest of the plastic to make a nice tight seal, because you're going to fill the bowl with alcohol. So you don't want it to leak out everywhere. So that should be pretty good. All right, so now comes the egg crate. Since this is not a sitter, I need to find somewhere to put this. so it doesn't tip over, and that looks pretty good. Now I will grab my salt and I'll fill up the bowl. Just leave a little bit of headroom with the salt because you can add more at the end. So I have this little serving vessel that I'm going to use to pour my alcohol, because you don't want to get alcohol on the outside of your pipe. So this has a nice pour spout. Find something that has a really good pour spout, or a syringe works well too. So then just pour in the alcohol. Oop, and I did get a little on the outside, so I will wipe that up right away. All right, so you want to have nice damp salt all the way up to the top. All right, and now I'm going to let that sit for 24 hours. All right, so a quick word on the type of salt you want to use. You want to make sure to use coarse, kosher salt. The reason you want to use kosher salt is because the crystalline structure helps draw out moisture and then trap it. And in this case, we're trying to trap dissolved tar and whatnot. So then once you throw away the salt, the tar goes with it. And you'll see why that's important in a second. Also, you don't want to use table salt or sea salt or anything like that, or any fine grained salts, because there's a possibility that you could crack the shank of your pipe. And obviously we don't want that to happen either. All right, so this has been sitting for 24 hours now, and as you can see, it is very dirty. So now I'm just going to scrape out the salt using a pipe tool, and then I'm going to rinse it out. All right, so I've taken the salt out. I'm going to leave the plug in for now, and I'm actually just going to use a little alcohol and just fill this back up just to kind of rinse out any salt that's still left. Let's use the end of a Q-tip here to kind of swish it around a little bit. So now what you're going to want to do, you just clean it up like you would any other time you're cleaning up your pipe, and you should be good to go. Let this dry for probably at least a few days, but you know, a week would be probably pretty good, because it's been, you still kind of get a lot of crap out of here. So just basically clean it up like you would any other pipe, and you should be okay. And the plug comes out in one piece. And there's still some stubborn salt in there, so I'm actually just going to use a little distilled water to rinse it out. All right, so now I'm going to let this dry for a few days, and I should be good to go. Now, you can repeat this process over again if you have a very stubborn ghost that you're trying to get rid of, or you just have a really dirty pipe. Also, a question I get is, how often should you do this? And really, there's no set schedule to having to do this. Really, it's just a necessity thing. So if you're having the moisture problems that you used to not have, if you're having the sour taste, or you have ghosting issues, really that's the only times that you'll ever have to do it. I've only had to do this treatment to estate pipes that I acquired that weren't thoroughly cleaned before I got them. Any of my normal rotation pipes, I've never had to do this to. After every time I smoke, I always run a pipe cleaner with alcohol through the shank and through the stem, and those two are usually the main culprits for the souring and the moisture problems. Obviously, if you're switching from aromatics to something else, you will have those ghosting issues, and you may or may not want to take care of those. Also, if you smoke a lot of aromatics, this might come up more often just because there's more things in the tobacco that could leave behind residues and cause those issues for you. But really, I've never had to do it on any of my normal smoking pipes other than estates that I pick up. All right, so I hope this video has been helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below and I will answer them as soon as possible. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time on Tea and Tobacco. See you guys. Really aged old pine boards. So, not that's been out in the weather, but just boards that have been exposed, that have been inside for a very, very long time. It's really the note that I'm kind of getting. Obviously, I haven't licked old pine boards. It's just the smell, what you think the smell would taste like.